Hey everybody, Kevin Machado here with you again. Hope you're having a great start to April and life is treating you really, really well. We're starting to see some better weather, which is always nice. No more late dumps of snow, and we're getting ready for playoffs and hockey, and I hope you and your family are doing great. You're getting outside, you're enjoying what our beautiful city has to offer at this time of year, and it's only going to get better from here. One of the things I was thinking about recently as I was journaling and writing and reading is there's this quote, and it says, be the person you needed when you were younger. And thinking about that, we all have a responsibility to everyone that's around us. I got to be a hockey coach to my son's hockey team, which was a lot of fun and a lot of work, but we get to be the people to either the people that are younger around us or people who are our peers, or even people that are older than us. We get to be the person that we needed to them. And so think about those people in those situations and think about who, when you were a kid, that person that you really needed. Maybe it was someone to help you out of a tough time. Maybe it was someone to just give you an encouraging word. It probably wasn't somebody, you didn't need somebody to be nagging on you or to be giving you a hard time or to be telling you about all the things you were doing wrong in your life. Yeah, we do need a kick in the butt sometimes, and maybe you can be that person, but who was that person that you needed? Likely it was someone to come put their arm around you, someone to encourage you, to say some positive thing about who you are and the life that you can live. And so you can be that person. You needed him when you were young. You needed that guy or that girl to come around you, and now you can be that. So that's my encouragement to you. Be that person. The person you needed when you were younger, be that person today to everyone who's around you, and then you'll become a light in your community. Now, enough of that. Let's get into our real estate stats, and we're going to take a look at some of the numbers here and see what's been going on in our city here in Edmonton and St. Albert and the surrounding areas. I actually got the opportunity to go hang out with a bunch of great agents out in Calgary last week at a Richard Robbins event, which was fantastic. Some of the top agents in the region and some of our friends that came out from Vancouver as well. So to drive up a big day and hang out there and talk with a bunch of different agents and learn lots too. And the feelings that we're getting in our markets is that we've seen a lot of activity. There's been this big push of strength and this swell of sales and activity, but it's almost like there's a little bit of this leveling off that's occurred. Calgary is seeing it a little bit more than we have. They're seeing this leveling off. And I think part of it does come down to, governments and uncertainty and tariffs and those kind of things where there's uncertainty in the market that's causing people to pause. We're not totally seeing it in the numbers yet for March, but I believe when we look at April's numbers, so we have data for last month, when we look at this month's numbers next month, I believe we might start to see some of that. We're still seeing a lot of activity in those price ranges that are going to be lower. Think of, any sort of like half duplex, townhouse, those types of properties, and then single family properties that are in that 400 to 550, even up to 600. There's a lot of activity there. Once you're going up beyond that, it seems to be just holding a little bit more steady, taking a little bit more time. There's still a lot of activity in that price range of the lower price range, the entry-level price ranges into those certain demographics and markets. So let's look at these numbers here. And as we look at Edmonton, we see what's been going on in the greater surrounding area. Then I'll dive into St. Albert as well. But as you look at Edmonton, for the month previous there in March, for our inventory, we're looking at 4,848 properties that were for sale. And then we saw sales in the 494 range. So that's a month over month increase 36%, which is common as we're heading into spring. And then it's an increase of 1.3 year over year. Our inventory, we've seen that climb again, 44% month over month, and it's up 7.5% year over year. So we are seeing inventory climb up. Our months of inventory, when we're taking those two things, that's dividing how many properties we have for sale at our current pace, how long it'll take to take that all up. We're sitting at 1.9 months, which is well inside a seller's market. So we see a seller's market still. There's a lot of activity that's happening, and it's evident in our pricing. When we're looking at single family detached pricing, we're at that $575,000 mark, still around that high mark where we're very similar to last month, 1.2% up. And then year over year, we're up 11.2% for single family detached properties. We're looking at the attached properties, those half duplexes, those semis. Those are sitting at $431,000, which is up 2.3% month over month and 5.3% year over year. And our townhomes, our row houses, those are sitting at $315,000, which is up 4.6% month over month and up 11.3% year over year. And then finally, with our apartment style condos, clearing the slate, running the gamut, everything up month over month, we're up 1.4% and year over year up 12.2% and sitting at $218,000 for those apartment style condos. Again, with apartment style condos, we saw another big sale at $1.425 million, which pushes up those numbers. Our high sale that we saw for a detached house was at $2.2 million. And then our high sale for a semi-detached was $862,000. So we're seeing some of these high sales that are occurring and they're pushing up pricing. And we're seeing those prices continue to climb on up. And now when we look specifically at St. Albert, so we looked at the Edmonton greater market. So that's going to be aggregating all the information for all our communities in and around the greater metropolitan area for Edmonton. And we're looking at St. Albert. Currently, as I'm speaking today here, we've got 107 active properties. We actually have 35 that are pending, which is good. There's a lot of pending properties that are out there. So our active properties are down from the month previous. Month previous was about 110, and now we're at 107. So very similar. Our sales, when we're looking at our sales, we are sitting at 95 sales. So that's going to be looking at last month. And that is up month over month, 50 from 52. And then year over year, 74. So we're seeing more sales than we saw last year. Our days on market, what we're seeing here in St. Albert, we're sitting at 26 days on market. And that's going to be up from 24 the month previous, and then down from 30 the year prior. Our average pricing, what we're seeing here for a single family detached home is $627,000. Our median pricing, that's at about $556,000. So last month we saw $630,000. So we're just down slightly from month previous. And then our median price was $597,000 last month. Last year, our average was $597,000, and then a median was $554,000. So from year over year average pricing, we're up about 4.8% in St. Albert. And our high that we saw this past month was a $1.55 million home in Erin Ridge North there in Easton. And then our low that we saw was a property that was listed in our office here for $320,000 in Lacombe Park. Right now, we're sitting at 1.1 months of inventory in St. Albert, and that's down from the month previous, which is 2.1. So that month of inventory, remember, anything that's under 4 or 3, really, you're going to be in seller's market. If you've been looking around St. Albert, particularly in that price range, like we mentioned before, anything that's really under 500 or even 550 or 600, it's a battle to try to find those properties. If it's priced well, you are seeing multiple offers. The higher end properties, when we're pushing 600 into 700, those ones we're finding are sitting a little bit longer on the market, and they're taking a bit more time to sell because the heart of our market is in that lower price range right now. I think that the higher markets, people are sitting on the sidelines. They're waiting to see what's happening. As we enter into spring, we're into the heat of our market. As we go over here for the next few months, we're going to see a lot of activity, and we're going to get continued pressure up on our pricing. And so that's what we're seeing with all of that. And I don't believe I actually mentioned our days on market here for our Edmonton market, and our days on market for Edmonton real estate is sitting at 30 days on market, and that's down from 40 from the year prior. All that to be said, we've got a market that's gone up. It's plateaued a little bit. We're still seeing increasing in pricing. Anecdotally, experientially, what we're feeling right now is that there's still activity in this lower end. The mid to higher end is seeing a little bit more pressure, and we'll be curious to see what our numbers next month are like. All signs are there's still activity, people moving here from out of province. People are maybe taking a little bit of a beat and a little bit of a pause, but I think we're going to still continue to see strength as we go up through the rest of the year. So you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to serve you, help you however I can. If you need advice, I just met with some clients at their property. They were talking about doing all these kinds of renovations. I helped talk them down from spending $50,000 on renovations to help keep the most money in their pockets. If you need some advice on how to get your home sold, how to get it marketed properly, and the right things to do, and not just throwing money down the drain, give me a shout. I'd love to chat with you. Hopefully help you spend money on the right things that are going to net you a good return, rather than just spending money on the wrong things that are going to net you a negative return. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what books you're reading. Let me know how life is going. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you all again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.